Bluff City Media presents Tigers Live with Francis Carlotta. Join Francis after every Memphis Tiger game as he breaks down each matchup, player of the game, and upcoming games. Now, let's get to the show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tigers Live. I'm your host, Francis Carlotta, joined by Roman Cleary, Kenny Stubblefield. We are live at Mugshots Grill and Bar, coming at y'all after a Memphis Tigers win over the
Shout out to Mugshots, y'all.
Shout out to Mugshots, everybody.
That's what I'm talking about.
Shout out to everybody even being here, tuning in. Shout out to all y'all wonderful people. Welcome everybody to Tigers Live.
Having
Memphis
a grand
beats
time.
Rice, 76-70. I'm here. I'm home. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm live and in person. This feels really good. How
Dude,
y'all doing, Kenny?
this feels so good having you here because, like, what folks don't know is folks are like, Francis, he's one of them Californians, right? Like, he's from San Diego. Yeah, old King Meeks over there, old bald head King Meeks talking trash about Francis. Francis is born and raised Memphis, baby.
That's
Let's
right.
go. He's back home.
That's right.
It's good to have Francis home back here in Memphis.
Yes. Appreciate all y'all. Roman, how you feeling?
I'm all right. It's great to be out here once again. Second watch party of the year. This one's a bit more fun. We got a bigger turnout, so
Yes, sir.
it's nice.
Yes, sir. And it's good to celebrate after a win. After a win over the Rice Owls.
Yeah, no, the Tigers are certainly celebrating walking out of here. 2-0 now in American Conference play. They've actually won away from FedEx Forum for the very first time this season. So they accomplished a lot despite not being at their best today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and say it was a beautiful performance by the Memphis Tigers. I'm not going to do that. But what I will do is always be happy after a win.
Yes.
I'm very happy after that win.
Yeah.
It didn't look great. Peace, everybody. Well, it didn't look great in the first half or a good stretch of it. But they started to play better basketball, turn up the defense, move the ball around, get the balls in the right position. And they played better basketball, especially in the second half.
Yeah, no, a lot of the issues that they had in the first half didn't really go down. You still saw the fouls, show up a lot in the second half. You still saw the turnovers show up a lot. But the difference is that they were able to force more fouls out of Rice, more turnovers out of Rice. It wasn't necessarily that Memphis was making less mistakes, but they were forcing more mistakes out of Rice. And when Memphis and Rice are making the equal amount of mistakes, usually the talent's going to win out there. And that's certainly what happened here.
Yeah, for sure. Kenny, what do you think about the game, man?
Yeah, like I think it's one of those things where we can sit here and we can dissect all like the, oh my gosh, and minute number 16, blah, 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 whatever. Wins are wins for this Tigers team, and you celebrate the wins.
Yeah.
That's Roman put it perfectly this past week. We celebrate, like we have spent so many years so concerned about what the net ranking is. What does Ken Palm think about our team? Why doesn't Bart Torvik like us? But none of that matters now.
No.
Like, none of that matters, bro. The only thing, and Roman said it perfectly last show, the only thing that matters is wins. Just get the wins and keep moving.
Yeah, I mean, we'll say some version of this basically every show, but since the at-large conversation no longer exists for this Memphis team, the only thing that matters is stacking up as many victories as possible in this American Conference slate because you want to get the best seeding possible for the American Conference tournament. Ken Palm's not going to play a factor in that. Bart Torvik, the net's not going to play a factor in that. All it's going to matter is the head-to-heads, the wins. And so far, Memphis is 2-0 in the American, so they're accomplishing what they need to there.
All right, we had a talk about this prior to the show. Roman, Francis and Roman, I need y'all to vote. Have we decided, was this the 11th starting lineup in 14 games, or has there been enough time passed since the Baja Mar to consider this a new lineup?
It is technically the 10th starting lineup still.
Okay.
Because Memphis has used the starting lineup before that we saw today, which is, of course, Doug McDaniel, Zach Davis, Ashton Hardaway, Aaron Bradshaw, and Simon Majok. It's actually the same starting lineup that they used the last time we were here at Mugshots.
Incredible.
That's crazy.
So
Poetic.
as inconsistent as the starting lineups have been, Memphis ends up using the same one for both of our watch parties here at Mugshots.
Shout out to Mugshots Grill and Bar for bringing some stability to this University of Memphis Tiger basketball team.
Right, exactly.
That's what I'm talking
Well,
about.
we're going to do another live show here at Mugshots, January 21st, the Tulsa game.
Yeah, which
And
is
let's see if
looking
it's the
like maybe
same.
the biggest conference game of the year.
Yeah.
Absolutely, by far biggest conference game. And let's see if they run out the exact same starting lineup again. We'll see.
Yeah.
That would be That would be crazy.
If
We
they
call it the
do-
Mugshot starting five.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mugshot starting 5. Brought to you by Mugshots Grill
I
and
mean,
Bar.
it's only fitting because Mugshots is so consistent in quality,
Oh,
and
yeah.
atmosphere,
There we go.
and everything that's just makes this place so great. So
Yeah.
it's only
Roman's a
fitting that
professional.
Memphis is able to have consistent starting lineups, I guess, whenever we host shows here.
Oh, that was incredible.
That was a great job.
God, that was
Yeah.
That was
so
well
good.
done. Yeah, that was well
Roman
done,
can
Roman.
pull out a promo out of his butt
Yeah.
so easily, man. It's awesome. It's impressive. Yeah, as we're talking about Mugshots, like I don't know how well y'all can see on the screens here, but we got a bunch of food in front of us too.
We're
we got-
going to be unprofessional and eat during the show just
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, I keep looking over because that's where the live feed is, but I can't see the camera. But I'll trust that y'all can see us good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the cheeseburger quesadillas right here that look.
They're
oh my
brand new
gosh,
to the menu, and they smell freaking ridiculous.
They look incredible.
Then we got the Southwest chicken egg or the Southwest egg rolls, and I think like Southwest egg rolls are staples for like bar food, right?
Easy.
And so like when you go and you get one, but it's the breading. Like
Look at
sometimes you
that.
know, look how nice and fresh that looks. Like
Oh, gorgeous.
a lot of times you can go to places and get these like kind of cheapo egg rolls, and they just look like they're come out of a Sam's Club freezer section, and that is not what these. And so I'm about to try some of
Yeah,
these
please, try some
live.
of that. Oh, come on.
We got Mukbang live on
Oh,
Tiger.
son.
Yeah,
Fine.
exactly. It's
Okay,
to a
try
mukbang.
that. Y'all got
Yeah.
to try that. Roman, you got to try it.
Yeah, I'll definitely have a bite. We also got some buffalo wings here, which again, you talk about a bar food staple. You can't ever go wrong with some buffalo wings.
Mm.
And then the ever famous
Oh,
peanut butter burger that
tried
I
it.
had earlier today, and I'm telling y'all, every Tigers Live episode, Kenny's talked about this burger every single episode. And so when I came out here, I had to try it for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And this man knows what he's talking about. It is something different. I don't know why it worked. No, it works so well because the bacon does something to the extra flavor, the smokiness that you get from the bacon is needed to cut through the peanut butter. But it's divine. It's divine.
Very,
and
very
the owner here at Mugshots, he gave me a little bit of jelly to put on the peanut butter burger, and it was life-changing.
A peanut butter and
Life-changing.
jelly burger is like something that you didn't know you needed, but then when you taste it, you're like, oh my God.
You're telling me. It was, that was something else. So, again, look, shout out to Mugshots. I'm going to try these egg rolls. And I do have a question for y'all, talking about the game a bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, again, first half of the first half, not good basketball
At
from
all.
the Memphis Tigers. Things started to, as you said earlier, Roman, it kind of stabilized as the first half went on. Second half, a little more, definitely more back and forth. What performances stood out? We'll get player of the game later on, but who stood out to y'all in this game as were big catalysts to why the Tigers were able to scrap out this win?
Well, the front court did not do a great job in the rebounding department, but you saw, I think, the backcourt really step up today in that area. Doug obviously leading the team with 6 rebounds. Sincere Parker had 5. Ashton Hardaway from the wing had 4. So it was really a collective effort, I'd say, down low because, front court's obviously struggled the entire year and couldn't really pick it up to start the game. So you saw the backcourt pick up slack there.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought Sincere, Doug, and Hassan all played pretty stabilizing roles for this team. With the front court struggling to struggling to make shots, with the front court struggling to secure defensive rebounds, one and done type things, like you needed your guards to kind of come in and step down into the paint and help out with the rebounding. And your guards did that. They all did that really, really well.
Yeah, and Memphis has been a much better offensive rebounding team than a defensive rebounding team throughout the entire season. But that actually changed a little bit today because Rice actually beat Memphis in the offensive rebounding game 15-13.
Yes.
Even though all of Rice's starters, besides Steven Giwa, they stood below 6'9". All Memphis starters, besides Doug McDaniel, were 6'7" or taller.
Yeah.
Bradshaw and Majalik obviously both standing at 7'1". So Memphis obviously came into this game today with a plan to use their size to overwhelm a Rice team that's obviously not as talented and not as big as they are, but it just didn't really work. So they had to find other ways.
Yeah, and I also want to, whenever we played Rice in the past, Roman's been very complimentary of Rice coach Rob Lanier, and very rightfully so. I think he did a great job, at least motivating his guys to play super hard after getting whooped by Tulsa by 49 points. They came into this game knowing that they They needed to have a better performance and give more effort, give more energy. Rice did that. They scrapped really hard. They fought, as you said, Roman, out-rebounded Memphis on the offensive side, which is Memphis' strength. They're usually a very good offensive rebounding team.
Yeah, like top 20, I think, offensive rebounding team in the country, at least top 30. And even before Rob Lanier got to Rice, Memphis had trouble with Rob Lanier
at SMU.
For a long time. I think we all remember that SMU game from a couple years back.
Man.
106-79, I think it was. Like, Memphis get absolutely throttled in that game. So,
yeah.
And even in that first game of the 23-24 year where Memphis won off that Javon Quinterly buzzer, SMU dominated much of that game.
Right.
The reason why Rob Lanier is not succeeding at Rice right now is because he just doesn't have the talent to do so.
Yeah.
Once he gets to a better school, you'll see him win a lot more.
What's crazy is SMU fired him because they thought that Rob Lanier could not take them to the next level as they were heading over to the ACC. And they said, we want a better coach, a coach that can take us to the next level. Rob Lanier, his calling card at SMU was his defense. You remember that SMU team, the teams that he had, their defense was just off the charts. And you're starting to see that in this Rice team a little bit. There's some clear talent deficiencies, and we can blame it on NIL. You can blame it on the insane academic requirements at Rice. Rice is a incredibly tough school to get into. But Rob Lanier just needs to get some time in at Rice or wherever he decides to go. He's a successful coach. Like, he's a good coach.
If I'm Rob Lanier, I'm looking to get out of Rice as soon as possible.
Yeah.
It's the same problem that Ron Hunter has at Tulane. The same problem.
Yeah.
Both of those guys are excellent coaches. In my opinion, Ron Hunter is the best coach in the American. But he's at Tulane, incredibly difficult job. Same thing with Rice, incredibly difficult job. But, they are still good enough to keep Rice or Tulane or whatever school you're talking about competitive in a lot of these games, even with a Memphis team that's clearly a lot more gifted.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about we've given a lot of deserved criticism towards Penny's lineups and starting lineup choices, rotations. Today he played 10 guys. The minute split, he really played 8 guys, legitimate minutes.
Right.
Quante and Curtis had only 5 and 8 minutes the entire game. But otherwise, it was mainly an 8-man rotation. Ashton, 25 minutes. Bradshaw, 23. Manjock had 14. Doug had 36. Zach Davis, 23. Thetford, 18. Hassan, 27. Sincere, 21. That's an 8-man rotation. And ladies and gentlemen, isn't that what we've been asking for?
Yeah.
Right?
It's not only what we've been asking for, it's what he's been telling us he's going to do.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's after Thetford didn't play much in the first half because he got caught up in foul trouble.
Right.
I will say, if I'm Memphis, I'm not exactly pleased that Curtis Givens only got 8 minutes considering what he's been doing for you offensively.
Sure.
But it just, I guess, is what had to happen in this particular game for Memphis to walk away with victory. But I'd say that Givens probably needs to be more involved there moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I still think I have a ton of question marks about we can't sit here and bang on dude for not figuring out his rotations quickly. And then once he starts to kind of whittle it down, who the guys are that are going to play for this team, it feels like now. Now it's just kind of like who they play with, the rotations they're with, like when are they getting their minutes. I'm confused about Curtis. I'm not confused about Quante. Quante has been pretty much non-existent outside of a couple of games this season.
Yep.
Real clear foul trouble issues when he's out there. Julius and Quante have had foul troubles this entire season. The one thing that I would say is Julius he's kind of toned down the fouls, number one, and the number two, offensively, provides quite a bit of he puts a lot of force on the other team.
More pop,
right?
Well, Thetford's a guy who averaged 12 points off the bench at Western Kentucky. One of the best freshmen in CUSA last year,
right?
Compared to Quante Berry, who is certainly a talented player, but he was a regular starter at Temple last year. Only averaged 10 points a game there and was pretty inconsistent.
Yeah.
Obviously went off against Memphis a couple of times, but wasn't great against other teams.
I think Quante and Julius are a little bit redundant.
Yes.
Watching them play more, they seem to have similar skill sets. One of them just doesn't foul as much, gets to the rim more consistently, just plays more consistently than the other.
Thetford just does what he does better.
Right, exactly. And so I feel like that's why you see Quante only play 5 minutes, and Julius, he played 18. But as you said, Roman, it's because of foul trouble in the first half.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
think that's why you're seeing Julius get a little more run, which I'm very happy with.
You know,
He's a really good
Thedford
player.
certainly would have had 20 plus as well
For
if
sure.
he didn't have to sit out much of that first half.
For sure. So do y'all think, are you comfortable with this, quote unquote, 8-man, 8 to 10, depending on who's playing hard, giving energy on the court? How do y'all feel about this group of guys playing on a consistent night in, night out basis?
Again, it goes back to what we've been saying all year. It's just one game. We still haven't really seen much consistency there. Memphis is at a place this year where they just have to win games. So it may just be, what it is from a game-to-game standpoint.
It's so wild to see a front court a team that has had a front court struggles their entire season. Probably their most gifted front court player in Tarek Ingram, not getting a single minute, not even touching the floor. And when I say gifted, I mean just like the things that he's able to do in the paint with it, using his size, the skill set he has. It's pretty wild to see him not get any minutes.
And he started last game.
But he's been ineffective. He's been largely ineffective in his minutes. He started the game but only had like 3 minutes of play time or 8 minutes of playing time or something like that, and just didn't do anything. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm okay with it. Like I've said this before the show. I said this here. The number one thing a coach can do in a situation like this, when a team is clearly flawed, clearly has some stability issues, is provide stability for your team. And in the midst of unstable players, unstable skill sets, those kinds of things, the coach can absolutely impact that by having a stability in terms of the rotation, in terms of who plays.
Yeah, no question.
Just give them the rope to like figure this out.
Yeah.
And
as we talked about before, I was talking to some of the awesome people who came out to the watch party here. When you don't play guys consistently, that can only harm their psyche, only harm their confidence. Because if you're now going to be questioning yourself, when am I going to play? When am I going to get in? And I know the cliche is stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah.
But that cliche is so much easier said than done, especially when you're a college kid who's still trying to figure your way out through basketball and through life in general. So, I agree with you, Kenny. A lot of these rotation decisions, a lot of the effort problems, some of that is just on Penny. He's got to put a foot down. He's got to figure out his guys, his rotation, and play them consistently. And I think that'll lead to better results as we move forward through conference play. No question.
One of the questions that was asked, and we're trying to keep up with the comment section, everybody. It's kind of tough because the live feed is over here because I had to make a choice. Do I want to put the computer screens with the live show, or do I want to put food? You don't get this body by choosing food, not choosing food 90% of the time.
Food.
Right. So we put food here. I got the live stream over here. So we're trying to keep up with it. But Al Bolden asked, why does Bradshaw get so much leeway?
Al, you know the answer to that, man.
Hold on. I think Ashton's minutes need to be reduced. Givens more minutes, please.
Al, you know the answer to that, man.
Microphone to your face.
Oh.
There you go.
Sorry, I can only hear out of one of these for context, so I guess I'm not aware of how much the audio is coming through there.
You're good.
But no, Bradshaw's making a lot of money,
Moolah.
and he's the most talented player in the front court. That's why he gets leeway. That's why.
I think if I had to put a percentage on those two reasons why, I would say 90% is he makes a lot of money.
A lot of money.
10% is because I don't know if I think he's got a certain skill set, but I don't know how talented he is.
Well, look, again, I understand the Aaron Bradshaw hate. We've been very vocal about that when deserved on this show. So has Tiger Nation.
Hey, he's not fouling out, bro.
Yeah, deservedly so. But let's be his game today: 12 points, 5 of 5 from the field. 4 rebounds. He had 3 turnovers, but he still got 4 boards, and he was 5 of 5 from the field.
Yeah.
This was a solid Aaron Bradshaw game. Let's be real. This is one of the better Aaron Bradshaw games that we've got from him this year.
Anthony Sane from the Anthony Sane Show wants to know, why is Little Curtis not getting any playing time? Little Curtis, we don't know. Anthony, we don't know.
Beats me because he's been one of the best scorers on the team since he's come back from injury.
Yeah.
But he didn't get run today.
Yeah.
And Francis, I'm not saying you're necessarily wrong by saying that this was one of the better Aaron Bradshaw games we've gotten, but it's astonishing to see Aaron Bradshaw 12 points and 4 rebounds at 7-1, and he fouls out. It's wild that we can say that this is one of the best games he's played at Memphis.
Correct.
That's It's wild to
That's
say.
correct.
All right, let's do a taste test. Everybody grab a piece of that
right, here we go.
quesadilla right there.
You're gonna tell me
It's
the
brand
price.
new to the menu, apparently, according to John, the owner of Mugshots. He's the owner of the Collierville and the Olive Branch Mugshots.
Oh boy.
So y'all need to go check it out. Here,
I'll
here's
give,
a
I'll,
here's
I'll
a
give this
napkin.
one to you.
We got to taste. He said it's brand new to the menu and it's, in his words, fire. That's what he told me.
Lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Here,
Okay. This is gonna get.
is it
It's
gonna
be
be
a little
messy?
messy.
Oh, plates.
Oh,
He got
plates.
plates
What
for
a
us.
man.
Oh,
What a
Oh
my
yeah.
God.
I wish we had said that in the.
Listen,
From a-
someone's big
Yeah.
ass computer is covering it up over there.
Here you go, Roman.
Yeah, well,
There you go.
it ain't that big.
All right, here we go.
All right, here's napkins. Napkins for you. Napkins for you. All right, taste test, and I'm gonna wash it down. We got a cheers. We got a cheers to
cheers.
Tigers Live being
Cheers,
in person.
gentlemen.
Roman's.
There you go. Thank
Hey,
you, Roman.
there we go. All right,
man.
shout out. Let's try this.
Got better as it went on.
Come on, man.
Bro, come on, man.
That's good stuff.
I don't know what to tell you. Beef, good. Quesadilla, good. Onions, good. I mean, it's just fire. I mean,
Yeah.
To me, really good things like this is it's what's covering it, right? It's the fajita. It's the shell. Kind of like in the chicken egg rolls here. It's what is encapsulating it. And it's if that is good, it sets everything apart.
Oh yeah,
That's fire though.
yeah, delicious.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all gotta get down to Mugshots.
I'm gonna wash it down with my beer.
Yeah, I'm doing a little drinking too. I got
What
a
are you
lemonade,
drinking?
a lemonade cocktail. I can't remember the name of it. It's on the menu. I apologize.
John Dane, what's this called?
What's that lemonade cocktail called? The
Oh, the
lemonade.
country lemonade.
Got me a country lemonade.
Got you a country lemonade.
Mm.
Roman, we're trying to talk Roman into partaking. He turned 21 yesterday,
No.
and
It was in June. It was in June.
Kenny's the king of blowing smoke.
Yes.
King of blowing smoke.
all right, let's get to it. What else you think, man? What else are we talking about?
Well, look, I mean, we touch on the rotations.
Yep.
I will. I'm gonna circle back to my question because I want to ask you. I understand we just want to see consistency, but these guys who played,
Right.
let's say the 8 guys who played. Let's take out Curtis and Quante because they didn't play that many minutes in reality.
Right.
The 8 guys of Ashton, Aaron Bradshaw, Simon Majok, Doug McDaniel, Zach Davis, Julius Thetford, Hassan Abdul-Hakim, and Sincere Parker. How are we feeling about that?
I mean, I feel fine. Like it's just all so confusing because you've got guys who have had like multiple did not play coaches' decisions in a row. Simon Majok. You've got Zach Davis who didn't play, who played like 6 minutes or 2 minutes the other game and then started.
Yeah.
The next game and started today. Then you've got Curtis Givens who gets 8 minutes and Quante Berry who gets 5. So like it's confusing as to who it is. I don't mind. That part of it. It's just I've never seen anything really like it before.
Yeah.
In coaching, I think
Yeah.
where guys go from either not playing to playing. I do think that these 8 to 10 are probably the best on the roster.
Mm.
I think that the guys are interchangeable. I think it's kind of all dependent on like who's getting like who's being effective in that game. So for instance, you see Zach Davis get 23 minutes and you see Curtis Givens get 8.
Yeah.
So maybe Zach was being more effective. Maybe it was a matchup thing, whatever it may be. Some legitimate reason to why it is that way. But I think if you had to say these 8 guys are the top 8 guys, I would absolutely agree with that.
Okay.
I wrote about Zach Davis obviously after the what was it, the North Texas game?
Yeah.
Wednesday? Yeah. Penny talked a good bit about how he has been pushing Zach Davis harder than perhaps anyone else on the roster because he knows no matter how good Simon Majok is playing or a Curtis Givens or a Julius Thetford is playing off the bench or what have you, if Memphis wants to reach whatever ceiling it has, Zach Davis has to be a focal point in that.
Right.
Because, he's one of the more talented players on this team. And more importantly, he has a skill set as a 6'7" wing with the abilities that he has that no one else on the team really has his particular skill set, his particular abilities. Most people on this team are not capable of putting up a 23-point, 13-rebound double-double against the power conference opponent. They don't have, his size, his length, his athleticism, defending guys on the wing. Penny has said multiple times that he thinks Zach Davis is talented enough to be the best defensive player in college basketball. So that's why you're going to see him get these opportunities time and time again, even when he's not particularly effective like he wasn't really today. 0-5 from the field, 5 turnovers, including three in the first half. Not great, but you're still going to see him get those opportunities because Memphis needs him.
How much of it is it that both of y'all, do y'all think it's because he's a threat, because he has that skill level, he has that talent, that size, that the way he looks? Like we talked about it, you want to look like a ball player, be a ball player. Well, sometimes looking like a ball player is good enough because there's a level of threat that he brings.
Yeah, but it's not just that he has it; it's that we've seen it. We've seen it against Baylor.
Yeah,
we've seen it in Baha Mar. We saw it in some level against North Texas, scoring 9 points in the second half against Alabama State after missing the entire first half. I think that's significant. So Zach Davis, unlike an Aaron Bradshaw, he's shown, I think, legitimate flashes of being a high-level player.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about another thing. With something that I've had in my mind is talk about identity of this team, Kenny and Roman.
Right.
I think we know that this team defensively has put up solid numbers just overall. They're 32nd in KenPom in defensive rating. And, defensively, they've done a solid job overall this year, but it's the offense. The offense, fellas, that have really struggled to get going throughout this entire season. While we were watching the game, Roman, you were talking about the lack of three-point attempts just recently coming after multiple games where they took a lot of three-pointers.
What was that stat again? What was that stat, Roman?
Yeah, so at Mississippi State, they took their first 7 field goal attempts of the game at Mississippi State all came from beyond the arc, and they took 6 total three-pointers in the first half today.
Man, so with that in mind, the amount of threes that Memphis took today, they took just 13 after a concerted effort from Penny, the staff, and I'm sure the players as well, to take more threes. And then today against Rice, a team where they should not win by only 6 points. I don't care how bad or good this Tigers team or the Rice team is. This game should not have been a 6-point win. But it's because the offense couldn't really ever consistently get going. So let me ask y'all, how long are y'all willing to give this team, and maybe it's up, maybe it's gone. How long are y'all willing to give this team until they actually find some sort of offensive identity in general?
I'm not sure.
I don't think that they find an identity. I think their identity is they're going to have to – I think their identity is more of a team identity, and it's that they grind shit out.
Okay.
Like you have to grind. You have to fight, and you're going to win by your offense.
Defense into offense can be an offensive identity.
We saw that in the second half.
Right.
They started turning Rice over and pushing the ball up the floor.
Yeah.
Like I know we said that, computers don't matter, but if you look at the computers, we see it on the floor, we see it on the computers. Memphis is just a far better defensive team this year.
Way better.
Even, as bad as Memphis has been at time this year, they're still 32nd in adjusted defensive efficiency in KenPom.
It's crazy.
Compared to 142nd offensively.
Yeah.
The identity, if you want to call it that, I guess is clear. They're going to have to turn their defense into offense, which is something that Memphis has succeeded in doing before.
Yes.
Particularly early in the Penny Hardaway era.
Yes.
So they're going to have to do, some makeshift version of that this year, because I feel like that's the only thing they can really do to get by.
But here's the thing. The reality of the situation is I don't think that this team has enough skill at every position to gain an identity where I can trust. You knew last year, Francis, that when Dane Danger was in the game, that he was going to go to the left-hand side of the block, that he was going to post up, and he was going to get the ball and do a up and under reverse, or he was going to fade away into the lane, hit that shot. You knew that was an identity that they had. You knew PJ Haggerty, spread the floor, go. This team doesn't have players like that.
Yeah.
Aaron Bradshaw can. There are moments where he has really good moments, and it's his energy and his hustle diving on the floor for loose balls.
Yep.
But if you try to pass him the ball in the post, you're either going to get a turnover, it's going to be you just never know.
Yeah, you don't know.
And so I think that we talk about identity. I kind of think the team identity is grit, grind, and just turnovers into offense, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I think go ahead, Ron.
The real problem with this entire Memphis regime under Penny, I think what we're seeing this year is that it requires high level talent at the top of the roster to be successful. You know, whether it was PJ and Dane last year, David Jones and Javon Quinterly the year before, Kendrick Davis and DeAndre Williams. You need one or two guys at the top of the roster that are high level superstar caliber players. And you thought you were getting that with, you know, Doug and Sincere and Aaron Bradshaw particularly. But it just hasn't really panned out with any of those guys. And when it's not come to fruition, you're kind of lost, like Memphis has really seemed to be at times. And the fortunate part is that now they're in the American part of the schedule. They're facing teams that just aren't as talented. They now have some time to really get it together ahead of the conference tournament in Birmingham, and they're still able to salvage something out of the season. But I think that is more so what we're learning than anything.
Well, the joke in the past was when is Penny going to actually instill their offense, right? We'd be watching games and the announcers would talk about how Penny doesn't coach offense. Penny hasn't instilled an offense. And then the joke was like, when is he going to instill an offense? In my mind, I don't think an actual offensive system would be enough for this offense to find Penny because of the talent level of these players. They might just not be good enough that no matter what offense you install, no matter what you implement as a coach and as a coaching staff, it just might not matter.
Yeah.
Because they're just not good enough, unfortunately. So I think
in basketball, you don't have to, in college basketball, you don't have to be to win the conference championship, you don't have to be the most talented or the best.
At least not in the American.
And not in the American.
Yeah.
But what it's going to be impacted if they do go to win the American Conference and go to the tournament. That's when teams start to kind of like exploit your weaknesses and not allow you to do the things that you think you can do. They don't turn the ball over. They slow things down. They force Memphis to go into a half court, and it's like, well, we're screwed.
Yep.
Right? But it is what it is. Like, this team is flawed.
Yeah. No, it is what it is. I wish I could see the comments. Like, I just
Lost Found Decor said we scored this game every time we pushed the pace and ran down the floor.
Yep.
When we slowed down and played half court, we missed shots and didn't score.
Yep.
I mean, it goes back to offensive system really hasn't been implemented, throughout the year. I mean, if you remember back to before the San Francisco game at the beginning of the season, Penny said earlier that week that they were just installing offensive sets. They didn't have anything installed for both of the exhibitions. So when you just begin to develop the offensive system, if you will, just before the regular season, it's not particularly surprising that a couple of months later.
I don't believe him on that.
You're still.
I don't believe him.
Even after seeing it on the floor, I think it's pretty obvious at times.
I think you see him do some things like last week or last game against who'd they play?
North Texas.
North Texas. Thank you. They tried to institute some like back cuts and some like spread back, like elevator screens, things like that. But they abandoned that today. None of that happened. Yep. I don't know if necessarily I think that he didn't instill any offense. I think there's probably some specific things that he hadn't done, like putting things in for Sincere, putting things in for Doug. There were concepts and things like that he had been working on, but I think he's trolling when he says things like that, because I just know that's not the truth.
I hope it is. That's all I can say, man.
But how do you know, though?
Yeah, we don't know.
How do you know if that's not the truth?
Hey,
bro, I know my name is Kenny Stubblefield, but my actual real last name is Hardaway.
Yeah,
Penny Hardaway is my brother.
Just look at him, everybody. Look at him. That's his brother. That's Penny Hardaway's brother right there. Yeah. Well, like you said, Lost Found Decor. We talked about that at the end of Tigers Live when we had Trey Lastly on as well. Talking about what do we know about this team, and what we know is they thrive in chaos. They thrive when they're pushing the pace, turning the ball over, running up and down the court. It still happens too many times for my liking. When there's a fast break and they don't just try and attack the rim and they end up just dribbling out, trying to run a half-court set, which leads to, unfortunately, nothing most of the time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I would still rather than push the pace, try and get fouled, get to the rim, do something with the basketball other than just try and pull it back out and try and run whatever plays you're trying to run. I know that that's supposed to be beautiful basketball. That's supposed to be the right IQ basketball play, but maybe it's not for this team. That's just how I feel.
Yeah. Let's take a break.
Yeah, let's do it.
When we come back, we're going to do player of the game, and then we're going to talk about kind of what's up next for the Tigers, looking forward, looking ahead. as they defeat the Rice Owls 76-70 today. They're now 2-0 in the American Conference. And we have Francis Carlotta live in person
Yes,
here
sir.
at Mugshots Grill and Bar out in Collierville. When we come back, we'll do all that stuff.
In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story. In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Tigers Live at Mugshots Grill and Bar, y'all. The South's premier Grill and Bar. Man, this place is incredible. They got 2 locations, 6400 Goodwin Road in Olive Branch, Mississippi, and 656 West Poplar Avenue here in Collierville, Tennessee. Just being here for the first time, you know, it just feels good to be in a place like this. Watch sports with great people, awesome service, incredible food. I mean, it's hard to beat a place like this to watch your favorite team play anything. Basketball, football, soccer. I don't know if y'all got Premier League games, but if y'all do, like, come watch that here too. I don't care. If you I don't know, if you like cricket, you know, maybe rugby, they might throw that on for you as well. Come down here, watch some sports, get some friends, and enjoy Mugshots Grill and Bar. This place is great. Thank you all for hosting Tigers Live.
I don't think you want to see me down here watching a Steeler game.
No, I heard that.
I do not think you want to see me down here watching that. But
So you watching a Tigers game, is it much different emotionally for you?
I mean, covering a team as opposed to being a fan is a totally different dynamic. You
Correct.
know, when you do what I do, it changes your perspective on sports forever. You can never really be a fan the same way that you were before.
Yeah.
So
for Steelers games, are you just more of an emotional wreck or nervous? Like, how are you feeling?
I mean, still not as much as I used to be.
Okay.
But yeah, the emotions definitely do or can come out a lot more.
Okay.
In certain instances.
They
They definitely did last week.
Yeah.
when I it's been so fun to watch, like, thinking about today, you being here in town, us doing the live show here at Mugshots, because you've talked about mugshots and you've heard me talk about it, and you're like, okay, it looks awesome. I'm sure the food is great. I was so excited for you to come and experience it, right? Like I was so excited for you to be able to get here, back home, where you're from, and be home, feel the Memphis air on you, and be here at Mugshots with us tonight, because I was like, now Francis is going to know what I've been talking about this entire time. And here's the thing, like you don't have to believe me that this place is awesome. You can come and check it out. Like we've had a bunch of people here today checking out Mugshots, eating the food, drinking the drinks, watching the games with all of us, having a good time. We're doing another one of these on January 21st right here. And the big difference is right behind us, we're going to have to find a new spot to do this, because there's going to be a big ass projector right here. And the TV is going to be, the game is going to be on, and it is going to be so fire. John Dean is the owner of the place. He's been killing it, getting this place ready. Like, it's so cool to be able to talk to him and hear him say, I want Mugshots, whether it's an Olive Branch or in Collierville, to be the place that people go and watch games at and know that they'll be safe, have good food, and enjoy their time, be around friendly people. That's this place. It just is. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no, you're in line. You're absolutely right. And it was great to meet you, John, as well. We were talking food earlier, and I'm like, yeah, you're my spirit animal with food. You know, we get it. You know, we understand. We get how this works over here. And so, this place is great. Y'all come down to Mugshots, check this place out here in Collierville or in Olive Branch, Mississippi. All right, let's do player of the game for Memphis versus Rice. Give it to me. Who's y'all's player of the game?
Yeah, it's easily Doug McDaniel.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, killed it today. Mentioned earlier with the team high 6 boards. It's not the first time he's actually led Memphis in rebounding this year, but still
it's pretty cool.
Impressive nonetheless. But he also led it with 18 points. And as you see on the screen there, 4 assists and a staggering 4 steals as well. He was just all over the place in this one, played 36 minutes.
Yeah, we talked about this. Sam and I talked about this at the North Texas, after the North Texas game, that Doug is by far the most consistent player for this Tigers team.
Yeah, bar none.
And so he gets the consistent amount of minutes he produces for the Tigers. And the cool thing is he produces in different ways. Like, it's not just that he has to score a crap ton of points, or he, is 5'2" and gets 6 rebounds, or he's got a lot of steals, gets some assists, plays the biggest thing about him is he's available every single game. And when he's out there, he makes a difference. And sometimes it might not look exactly how you want it to. As fans, we might say, oh, I wish he could shoot the ball better, or why did he make that dumb pass? Things like that. Man, he's consistent and he's a good player. And tonight, when the Tigers were struggling and when they were down by 10 in the first half to Rice, and when the game was close the entire time, it felt like Doug was always the one that was there to kind of make the right play, to kind of keep the Tigers on the path.
Yeah. I know the nickname Little General belongs to a different Memphis Tiger in the history of this team. I know that. And Doug McDaniel is definitely not.
He's definitely not taking that.
He's definitely not taking that.
He's definitely not taking that.
Not taking that. But I've said this before on Tigers Lives before. I said this to you all. He is the most important player on this team because he has to run the show for this offense. He's got to push the pace. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to run the show for the Memphis Tigers. And you saw that today. He had a really solid game. 4 steals as well. And when you mentioned the turnovers overall as a team for the Tigers and Rice, I was surprised to see that Memphis had more turnovers than Rice did. Just watching the game, there was a lot of lazy passes from Zach Davis, so maybe that contributed as to why. But I thought Memphis overall did a good job speeding Rice up, forcing turnovers, and you saw that with Doug getting 4 steals tonight and the 4 assists. And we know he can even be better as a playmaker, as a passer. But it's good to see him with 18 points as well. Memphis needs that scoring production from Doug McDaniel if Memphis is going to go to the heights we hope for.
In an ideal world, Doug McDaniel would be placed next to a PJ Haggerty caliber guard in an ideal world, but that's just not the reality of the situation. Doug is having to take the premier role here. And it's the Doug McDaniel experience, particularly when he has that type of responsibility. It can be up and down. It can fluctuate. But the highs of Doug McDaniel are as good as any guard Memphis has had in the past 5 years, for sure.
The funny part, Zach Davis had 5 of the 15 Tigers turnovers tonight. So it's like there are spurts where you have, or moments where you have guys like Zach who have a tough turnover game and it inflates the numbers a little bit. Doug played a great game today. I really do. As much as I think Zach, these guys played
3 turnovers is not bad considering how much he handles the ball.
See,
His
that's
usage rate.
And
You're
how
right.
long he's in there.
Yes.
Right, his usage rate. I don't know it off the top of my head, but it's
It's got to be insane.
yeah, it's got to be crazy. He's got to be one of the
I bet-
leaders in the
I bet
in
it's
the country.
higher than PJ's was.
Oh, that's a good point.
I bet it was.
Yeah.
I bet it is.
That's
How do they define usage? Just by being out, like how much the
Percentage
ball's
of-
in his hands,
yeah,
basically.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
He's certainly playing more minutes than PJ did last year.
Yeah, no question.
He's certain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about another guard. And again, shout out to everyone who did come to our watch party. Shout out to Melvin who was here. He was the biggest Sincere Parker.
And he called it
Proponents.
the whole time.
He called the whole
it.
time, and
Yep.
Sincere came up clutch in the end with a couple of needed baskets when Memphis needed points to get this lead and win this game. But Sincere, he had a pretty solid game himself as well. I've been critical of Sincere in the past, but this was good to see from him. What do y'all think about his game?
Yeah, Sincere had more field goal attempts with 11 than anyone else on the team today.
Mm.
And if you look back to what Penny said
That's
after
huge.
the North Texas game, he said he was going to make a more concerted effort to get Sincere more looks at the rim, more
Yeah.
looks at the basket. And I think he definitely lived up to his word today for sure. Sincere Parker has to be more involved for this Memphis offense to improve because he is the most skilled offensive player on this team. We've said it since the preseason. We've been saying it throughout the year. And lo and behold, when the usage and the shot attempts go up, the offense certainly looked at least a little bit better. And
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Didn't mean to
I,
interrupt you.
I was good.
Sincere, Sam and I talked about this after the North Texas game. Sincere is the most offensively gifted player on this team in terms of if you need a bucket, he'll get you a bucket.
Right.
Yeah.
If he's willing to drive to the basket, if he's willing to, push, create leverage type situations, Sincere has a knack of getting to the basket in ways that not a lot of the players on the Tigers can. The problem is just why hasn't he done it more?
Yeah.
Right? Like has he just not wanted to drive? Like what has been the reason for the lack of touches, the lack of shots?
Yeah. I mean, Penny took more of the blame for it.
Really?
Yeah, for the media, he said he said more or less that, and I'm paraphrasing here. Obviously, it's my fault. I haven't done a good job of getting Sincere the looks that he needs, and that's something that needs to happen more going into the new year.
Oh wow.
In reality, it's probably a mixture of both Penny and Sincere.
Sure.
I've definitely heard things that suggest that Sincere can be a different player to manage. Like
Sure.
there are certain quirks about him that make him not necessarily difficult at times, but different at times. So that dynamic certainly plays a factor there. Look, heading into the year, Sincere Parker was supposed to be at least the closest thing to a PJ Haggerty replacement.
Right.
And the reason for that is, like you mentioned, Kenny, his ability to get inside, go downhill, and drive to the basket. He is by far the best of anyone in that area on the team. And when you see him not utilize that particular skill in favor of taking bad three-point shots over and over and over again most of the time, naturally the offense is not going to perform as well when one of your expected major contributors isn't doing what you expected him to do.
Yeah.
Sincere did more of what you expected him to do in the preseason today. So you saw a better offensive performance as a result.
Yeah, I agree totally.
Yeah, with Sincere, I can agree with y'all that he's the best bucket getter on the team easily. He can get to his spot. He can hit a mid-range jump shot. He can hit a fadeaway. He can get to his spots on the floor very well. I would like to, like you said, Roman, I'd like to see him get to the rim a little bit more. But I think at the very least, he does a good job getting to his spots, rising up, hitting jump shots. He's probably the best jump shooter on this team, especially mid-range jump shooter.
Mid-range, not
Yeah.
three-point.
Not
mid-range.
three-pointer, but mid-range jump shooter. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's clearly Sincere Parker. And so, yeah, as a scorer, I can meet y'all there.
Yeah.
He's the most talented scorer on this team. But I want to bring up another guy who I think, in my opinion, is the best overall offensive guy. And that for me, that's Hassan.
Simon Majok.
No, I wish. Oh my God, I wish it was Simon Majok. No, I think it's Hassan because he's a better passer than Sincere. He's taller. He's more athletic, I think, as well. He does a better job getting to the rim than Sincere does. And he also can rebound. He played really good defense today as well. But offensively, I think Hassan's game is really good. We've seen it in the past. We saw him put up 20 points against Louisville. I don't think that was a fluke. And tonight, Hassan had himself another really good game. 11 points, 4 for 8 from the field. He hit a 3 today as well, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. and 3 steals from Hassan. So he also had a fantastic game today as well.
Yeah, well, the reason I said so many times in the preseason and very early in the season that Hassan Abdul-Hakim was the most talented player on this team is because he has more ability than perhaps anyone on this roster to just make things happen in general, whether that's scoring, rebounding, playmaking. He can contribute in basically any area at essentially a moderate level at least.
Yeah.
But he's another guy where effort, buy-in, consistency,
Absolutely.
whatever you want to say, that can fluctuate. That can be inconsistent at times. We've seen that in multiple instances with him, getting minutes reduced in certain games, missing 6 of the first 8 games of the season. Hassan can be a challenge in that way. It's the reason he had issues at UTRGV.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get him locked in and, more at a consistent level, he's going to be one of the main contributors on this team. That's just the reality.
Yeah, he's a gifted player. And I think, once again, there's a level of threat that he provides out there that even if he's having one of his, non-locked-in games where it's maybe playing with a little bit lack of energy, a little bit, kind of space cadet-y, he has moments where he's doing that. At least when he's out there playing, there's a threat that he could be that guy, right? And so you need him out there playing.
Yeah.
Like you have Zach Davis, you have Sincere Parker. Imagine when all those guys hit, right? Hassan Abdul-Hakim, when all those guys hit, they're going to be a tough team.
Yeah, you need all 3 of those guys, but all 3 of them have their issues with effort. They have their issues with buy-in, and that just has to be eliminated if Memphis wants to reach the ceiling.
Yeah.
Just has to.
What is the ceiling? What do you think their ceiling is?
Best team in the American, bar none. A team that can maybe get hot enough down the stretch by gaining confidence against these lower-level opponents to perhaps maybe even pull off an upset in the NCAA tournament. I think that's certainly possible.
I've said this before.
Because, they should have beaten Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They should have beaten Wake Forest.
Yeah.
They should have beaten Vanderbilt. They should have beaten Mississippi State. Realistically, this Memphis team should not have 7 losses.
Yeah.
Even with the talent deficiencies, this team should still, considering the way all their games have played out and what probably should have happened in some of their losses, there should still be a potential at-large resume. There should still be, only 3-4 losses on the docket here as opposed to 7. And this Memphis team is still good enough to compete with high major opponents. And if they can develop more cohesion throughout this American Conference schedule and find the right matchup in the NCAA tournament in the event that they qualify,
right,
they can at least pull off an upset. I don't think it's a second weekend team. I just don't envision that as a possibility, but you never know.
Yeah, I want to make this very clear because, again, Kenny loves to blow smoke about how I feel about Simon Majock. He had, as an aside, there was a moment in the game where he had a dunk, and if he threw it down and didn't somehow miss that dunk,
he airballed a layup.
I don't
airballed
understand.
A dunk,
I'm not sure how he missed that dunk, but if he didn't, I would have screamed. I would have ran around Mugshots. I'm like, I told y'all, Simon's the guy. No, and I would have been very excited. So I'm gonna say this very clearly. I've said this before on the show. I'm gonna look directly into this camera when I say this. The Memphis Tigers' ceiling is a Sweet 16. Ceiling.
Whoa.
Is it likely that people or teams reach their ceiling? No, it is not likely that'll happen. But I believe that Memphis at its ceiling is going to win the American, will win the American Athletic Tournament to get their automatic bid. And when you make the NCAA tournament, y'all, so much of it is luck. Advancing in the NCAA tournament, so much of it depends on matchups, luck, injuries. Memphis was a 5 seed last season, and they were a team that should have made a Sweet 16 if it weren't for a freak Tyrese Hunter injury when Brock Okogie stepped on his foot. But they lost in the first round to a Colorado State team because they didn't have one of their best players. Who knows if Memphis gets in and they're a 12 seed. Say they're a 12 seed. 12s upset 5s all the time. We've seen 12 seeds make a Sweet 16 in the past.
Yep.
So I'm going to say it's their ceiling. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's going to happen, that it's likely, but I think that is their ceiling as a team.
Yeah, that Colorado State team had no at-large resume whatsoever.
Yeah.
But they got hot in conference play. They had won 10 games in a row.
Correct.
Heading into that Memphis game. If you can get hot at the right time, anything can happen.
How about Roman me and
dude,
the same
shout
page?
out,
How about
man.
this?
What
We're
a great
being both positive.
Both of y'all at the
How about
same
this?
time. I'm over here trying to crack jokes in my brain about The Tiger ceiling is a Sweet 16 is along the same lines as Simon Majok's ceiling is a NBA
Number one
All-Star, All-NBA type player.
Look, man, Mugshots has me in a more lively mood.
There it
Hey,
is.
you know,
There it is. I love it.
You got
So good.
Mugshots just got Roman to be positive.
This is
Yeah,
amazing.
Wow.
This is great.
All right, listen. Grizz Girl, who was here at the Mugshots watch party, said, "Great watch party."
you know, one of my only fans. and
One of your OnlyFans?
no,
Pause.
not that way.
Pause. Yeah, timeout.
Pause.
What is
No,
that?
one of my
Shaquille
only supporters.
Is
There
she
you
a
go.
subscriber to your
All right,
OnlyFans?
relax.
All right.
Timeout. What's that Shaq meme where he goes like this? Timeout. Timeout.
Shout out to Grizz Girl, who was here. She said, "BCM watch parties are like Cheers." I love that. Cheers the
good.
show. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love
Thank you.
that.
That's Mugshots for you. Shout out to Mugshots for allowing us to be here. And Nathan Payson said, "If Roman has no supporters, then I'm dead."
Oh, there
Shout
you go.
out Nathan
Shout out
Payson.
Nathan.
And let me tell you, Nathan Payson is a ball knower. I've
Absolutely.
not seen much of Nathan around until this year, but he's been in the Grizzlies comments and in the Tigers comments. He's a ball knower. So
Ball
shout
knower.
out to Nathan.
Yes, sir.
Let's land this plane. Let's get up out of here. Tigers play who next?
They got Florida Atlantic. They're going to actually be off for 8 days, so they
Shout
get
out.
an 8-day layoff before the conference slate really gets rolling, because it's basically 2-3 games a week after that. But they got Florida Atlantic in Boca Raton, then it's back at home against Temple and UTSA, and then the next time we are here for the Mugshots watch party, like I've said before, probably the biggest conference game of the year, Memphis at Tulsa on January 21st.
And we're going to be right here at Mugshots watching it together.
I mean, that game could very well determine who ultimately gets the number 1 seed
Correct.
in the American Conference tournament.
Wow.
Now, Memphis is probably fine whether they get 1 or 2. It really doesn't matter.
Right. The
But-
buys.
Yeah, but still, getting the number 1 seed in the tournament would technically still give you the best position. But as long as Memphis gets the top 2 seed, they only have to play 2 games in 2 days, they'll be all right. So it's not, as big of a deal as saying like winning the conference regular season championship was last year, but it's still important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to be clear, like they're playing Memphis plays FAU in MUS's gym is where they're playing. But that's
God.
that Big Owl, same color scheme, same size. I think MUS's gym might be bigger.
What do they call it? The nest? Is that what they
Oh,
call it? The
Yeah, I think
nest
so.
or something
Yeah,
like that?
That's essentially
Yeah.
FAU's gym. It's so small, y'all. My gosh. My goodness. But yeah, big game against FAU. And let's see if the Tigers can continue momentum as they continue through American Conference play. They're now 2-0 after today's win against Rice. Yeah, before we get out of here, any parting thoughts, Kenny? It's great to see all of y'all, by the way.
It's good to be
It's
around
just
you,
great
bro.
to see y'all.
Trey Lasley says, "Can I come to the next watch party? Am I allowed to come to the next watch party?"
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Francis
kidding.
has put it down.
I'm just
No.
Everyone's invited as far
Everybody
as I'm
can
concerned.
come. Everybody can come. I'm just playing.
I got nothing. I'm just happy to have you here, bro.
Yep.
It's good to have you back in Memphis, even if you are leaving tomorrow.
Unfortunately.
But it is good to have you back. I met your lovely wife. It is awesome to meet her. I've heard so much. Both of y'all are big time. We need more good lawyers here in Memphis. So I'm putting it out there to you. Come on, y'all, come on
Well,
back home.
To be clear, I'm not a lawyer yet. Soon. I will be. Don't worry.
You're right
don't
there,
worry.
bro.
I'll be there. Yeah, don't
come
worry.
on. Even iHeart Windshield is welcome.
Yeah.
Even he's welcome.
Everybody's welcome to
Yes.
the watch parties. All y'all come out. Yeah, and shout out to everyone who did come out to a watch party today. It was awesome just to meet some of y'all. I do this show, host the show and everything, and I only get to talk to y'all, engage with y'all through the internet, through a screen.
Yep.
So it's really good to meet all of you wonderful people. I'm glad to be here. You, Roman, you, Kenny. This is great. And shout out to Mugshots Grill and Bar. My parents are here too, so that's really
Hey,
nice.
shout out to them.
shout out
Carlotta,
to
shout
my
out.
parents. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, everybody who supports Bluff City Media, tune to the Tigers Live. Y'all are the best. Be sure to subscribe to Bluff City Media as well. Like Tigers Live. Turn on the notification bell so you can see whenever an episode comes out that Bluff City Media puts out. So for myself, Francis Carlotta, for Roman Cleary, Kenny Stubblefield, to everyone at Mugshots Grill and Bar, all y'all came to the watch party. Thank y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Thank you for watching this episode of Tigers Live. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.